Giuliani, quote, does not contest that to the extent the statements were statements of fact and otherwise accountable, such actionable statements were false. In other words, Rudy lied when he made these statements about Fulton County, Georgia election officials Shay Moss and her mother, Ruby Freeman, when he described a now infamous surveillance tape in which they appeared.
Of Ruby Freeman and Shay Freeman Moss and one other gentleman, quite obviously, surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine. I mean, it's obvious to anyone who's a criminal investigator or prosecutor, they are engaged in surreptitious illegal activity again that day. And that's a week ago, and they're still walking around Georgia lying. They should have been questioned already. Their places of work, their homes should have been searched for evidence of ballots, for evidence of USB ports, for evidence of voter fraud.
According to Moss, that, quote, USB port that her mother handed her was a ginger mint. But mint or not, as was long presumed based on all the available evidence, none of what Rudy Giuliani just said was true. Last month, Georgia's state election board cleared Moss and Freeman of any wrongdoing after a years-long investigation. And now, 2.5 years after the fact, Giuliani seems to have finally come somewhat clean. But he still maintains that his comments were, quote, constitutionally protected and says his lies had no impact or should lead to no damages for those election workers. Remember, Shay Moss testified under oath on Capitol Hill before the January 6th Commission.
A lot of threats, wishing death upon me, telling me that, I'll be in jail with my mother, and saying things like, be glad it's 2020 and not 1920.
Her 63-year-old mother, Ruby Freeman, testified about being specifically mentioned by name.
Now I won't even introduce myself by my name anymore. I get nervous when I bump into someone I know in the grocery store who says my name. I'm worried about who's listening. I get nervous when I have to give my name for food orders. I'm always concerned of who's around me. I've lost my name and I've lost my reputation.
In their lawsuit, the women accused Giuliani of making them scapegoats for Donald Trump's defeat in the state of Georgia, claiming his comments put them in harm's way and caused them all sorts of damages. But this is a huge admission from Rudy Giuliani. So why did he finally come clean, and what happens now? Back with Sarah Isgur, attorney and former spokesperson for the Department of Justice under President Trump, host of the legal podcast Advisory Opinions and an ABC contributor, and former federal prosecutor Scott Fredericksen, also served as an associate independent counsel in D.C. Scott, why is he coming clean now?
Well, it's not because he's had a sudden attack of needing to be honest. It's all about the fact that the judge overseeing the case in which he's being sued for defamation has issued an order preparing to sanction him for not producing the emails and other relevant communications he's obligated to produce. And on the eve of that, he has decided, well, I'm just going to avoid that by stipulating this is false, and therefore you don't need discovery from me. I don't have to produce these emails to you. And that should tell you what might be in these emails. Now, the judge is not going to be bound by the stipulation. And I suspect what we're going to have is the judge is going to say, well, you can do this stipulation, that's fine, but you still have to produce your emails and communication. But that, I think, is what he's trying to avoid by stipulating, suggesting that, well, now there's no factual issue. You don't need my emails.
I mean, Sarah, for him to have to admit that, there really must be some ugliness in these emails.
No, exactly. I mean, Scott's exactly right about why they're doing it. So much so that, in fact, his own lawyers have tried to walk back the admission, saying, well, we weren't really admitting that he did lie. We were sort of doing an O.J. Simpson. If I lied, then we can just move forward, not have to litigate these fact issues, not have to turn over all these emails, more statements from people who heard Rudy Giuliani. All of that has been incredibly embarrassing and damaging to Rudy Giuliani. And instead, they just want to litigate those legal issues. I'm sure they do. But whether a judge sees it that way, like Scott said, I think it's more likely she'll say, great. So you've lied. And now we'll continue looking into these emails and other documents that the other side has asked you to produce.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.